Oftentimes when we're faced with an application problem, we're asked for a maximum or a minimum. In other words, what was the minimum cost to produce something or the maximum volume of something, and we call those optimization problems. So in this video, we'll do several examples and talk about the process for solving an optimization problem. So oftentimes in math classes, in real life, we have these optimization problems, and they often use geometric formulas. So I wanted to list a couple of formulas that would be handy in this class and the next. So the area of a circle has a formula, pi r squared. For our next one, a triangle, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. We also learned in our trig class that we could write the area as 1/2 AB sine theta if our theta was between the sides A and B. Keep in mind your height for the first one is the altitude. So if you're not looking at a right triangle, you could do that. Draw that and then work on finding the height. The next one is the formula for a rectangle. The area of a rectangle is length times width, or L times W. Some other useful formulas are the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I often don't like to use that. I like to say leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared, because oftentimes you'll be given the hypotenuse, for example, and it's common to say 3 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared because that's your unknown. But make sure, like in this case, you would do x squared plus 3 squared equals 5 squared. Also, you'll be working with problems in calculus that use cylinders and cones. The surface area of a cylinder is S equals 2 pi RH. The volume is pi r squared h. For a cone, your surface area is S equals pi RL, where L is your lateral surface area. And the volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. Oh, one additional formula or figure that we often use is the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared, and the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So what we want to do is practice setting up optimization problems and just solving them with our calculator. Once you get to your calculus class, you're going to have other methods to solve these without your calculator, but right now I want to focus on setting these up. So there are a couple things that we should do. As always, when you're solving a word problem, you should always read your question fully. And in order to do that, we want to find out what are we trying to maximize or minimize. Right? That's what we're trying to optimize. Once we do that, we want to identify our variables. This is an important step. We're going to write down any information we know. We often call those our constraints. Then we're going to write our objective function. This is what we're trying to maximize or minimize. And we want to make sure that our objective function is in one variable. We do that using the constraints. In this class, once we've done one additional step, we should find our interval of interest, meaning what values of the variable make sense in the context of the problem. And you'll see that here in this first example as well as the others. So for our first example, we're taking a look at all rectangles that have an area of 100. We want to know which one has a minimum perimeter. So keeping in mind, we've read it, we know that we want a minimum perimeter. This is our objective. So we want to minimize the perimeter. And you're going to notice that I always write a phrase saying what I'm doing, and I find, and I have had students tell me that they find that if they always do that, it's like a template in their mind that they know what to do next every time, and their work is very organized. So continuing with this problem, we know we're working with a rectangle, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. And I'm going to label my variables. So I'm going to label that variables. L is the length, and W is the width. And I'll go ahead and mark those. The next thing that I want to do, because I've read it and I've found out what I'm maximizing or minimizing, identified, I want to write down my constraints. Well, the constraint in this problem is that the area which is length times width, has to be 100. The objective function is to minimize the perimeter. We know perimeter is 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Unfortunately, that objective function is not in one variable, so we have to use our constraint. So I'm going to use this constraint here and say length is 100 divided by W. And I will put that into my L, 100 divided by W plus 2W. So here's my objective function in one variable. That's how we set it up. Our interval of interest, because we have a rectangle, we know that length and width have to both be greater than 0, but they also have to be less than 50. Now, where did the 50 come from? Well, I could have a very long, skinny rectangle, keeping in mind that I have to have 2 lengths and 2 widths. So let's say, for example, this was 49 and this was 49. That would leave me 1 unit on each side. So the maximum that something could be would be 49.999 forever, and the minimum could be whatever's greater than 0. So at this point, we would put this into our calculator. We would use y1 equals 200 over x plus 2x. If you zoom 0, it will fit on the page. That's zoom fit. And you can look at the graph and find the minimum. Now, keeping in mind, because our x value, which is our w in this case, because that is has to be less than 50 and greater than 0, we only want to look in that interval. So I am actually going to change my window for my x's from 0 to 50. Using second function, calculate, and finding a minimum, I get x equals 10 and y equals 40. So what that means is, if I look back at my picture here, we know that x, which was our width, would be 10. So this is 10 and this is 10. And if x is 10 or w is 10, our perimeter is 40. So that leaves 20 to be split between. So we can see that the dimensions of this rectangle are 10 by 10. Okay, let's do another one. This is more typical of what you would see in your calculus class. We have a point P on the curve y equals x squared that's closest to the point 18, 0, and we'd like to know the least distance. So I'm going to start by saying I want the least distance. So that's my objective, is to minimize the distance. And to wrap my head around this, I'm going to make a small sketch of x squared and the point 18, 0, and then think about how do I minimize that distance. We don't know what point it is. We'll just pick a point and draw a line. So if I want to minimize the distance, I've labeled my variables in my picture. I now want to write down my constraints. So my constraint is just that y is equal to x squared. My objective is to minimize the distance, and the distance would be the square root of the difference of the x's, 18 minus x squared, 0 minus y squared. Now again, my problem is that this is not in one variable, but I have this constraint that I can use, and I'm going to replace that y with our x squared. So I'm going to have the opposite of x squared squared. So what is our interval of interest? Well, in this case, we know that distance has to be greater than 0. So our d has to be greater than 0. And of course, you can see from the picture, depending on how far up the parabola we go, the maximum could be anything. Okay, so we put this into our calculator. No need to simplify it any further. We put it in for y1. We use second calculate to find the minimum. And we're going to find a minimum of x equals 2 and y is equal to 16.5. Notice that your minimum, when I did it, is actually 2.0000001. For all intents and purposes, 2. So keeping in mind that this was an x and this was actually the distance, we can answer both of the questions. What is the point on the curve closest? So the point closest is 2, comma, and then 2 squared would give you 4, and the minimum distance is 16.5. Okay, one more problem. Grady is flying a kite on 50 feet of string. Its vertical distance from his hand is 10 feet more than its horizontal distance from his hand. Assuming the string is being held 5 feet above the ground, find its vertical distance from the ground. So we definitely need a picture here. Here we have a person, and his hand is here, and he's flying a kite. Here's the horizontal. Grady is flying his kite on 50 feet of string. Its vertical distance from his hand is 10 feet more than its horizontal distance from its hand. So if we call his horizontal distance x, then this would be x plus 10, and we have a nice right triangle. Assuming the string is being held 5 feet above the ground, so this is 5, find the vertical distance from the ground. So setting this up might not be an optimization problem, but it's still setting up a problem. So we need to know what are the variables. We have drawn a picture so that we can see those. We also know that using the Pythagorean theorem, x squared plus x plus 10 squared is 50 squared. So if I simplify, we get 2 squared plus 20x minus 2400 equals 0. I'm going to divide by 2 just to make things easier and see if I can find two values that multiply to 1200 that add to 10. So 1 times 1200, 2 times 600, 3 times 400. I'm going to go with 30 times 40. And I know because I'm adding to positive 10, it has to be negative 30 and positive 40. So what I like to do here is just make it x minus 30, x plus 40 equals 0. And we could say it was 30 or negative 40. Now because we're talking about distance, x cannot be negative, so we have to toss that one. And we can answer the question. The vertical distance from the ground which would be here. If x is 30, 30 plus 10 is 40, plus this 5, so we can say 45 feet. We will do additional optimization problems on part 2 of this video.